Good morning students, welcome back to online classes of VLSI design. In last class we have seen our new topic, that is about your subsystem design. So we have seen that what was actually a subsystem. It is nothing but a building blocks to compose a larger subsystems. Okay, as to compose all the larger systems we will be needing some small building blocks, and all that building blocks what are there and how we are going to use that we are going to see in this chapter. So the very first one we have seen about your shifters, right? I hope everyone was clear with the shifters, and I really hope that everyone is watching the videos, IT as well as ECE students. So what was the shifters actually? It is nothing but an arithmetic operation of shifting either in the right hand side or left hand side in 1 bit position. Okay, you have to for every clock cycle, so you have to shift the bits for 1 bit position either right hand side or the left hand side for every 1 clock cycle. So shifting it's completely depending upon the integral parts of your VLSI design, and it is used for arithmetic shifting or logical shifting, or it may be used for a rotational shifting, and you can also use it for the floating point algorithm. So that was completely about your shifters, and in that one we have seen one of the example for the 4x4 shifters. You can also move on for n by n shifters, but for conveniency as to first we get to know what like how we are using these shifters. So for that one we have used your transistors as switches, and we have used input and output lines for that one. So in that normal what we say normal a 4x4 crossbar switch which has used for a shifter, there we had a problem that all the inputs at that time can give all outputs. So due to that one you may get short circuit, which may completely blast over your circuit. So as to remove that disadvantage, we are used a barrel shifter, where the barrel shifter will be having your what we'll say the switches that are connected to the outputs. Okay, and everyone is interlinked with each other. So that's the reason how we can overcome the problem which has gone from your what we say 4x4 cross bar switch. So actually what shifters will be having the input for a 4-line data bus and the outputs for the lines that are to be shifted. Sorry. So in this arrangement what happens, any input can be connected to all outputs. So that's the reason we have said that is very complex, and if the complexity is increasing so much, then it is very much undesirable to reduce that one. So as to overcome all these advantages, we are moving to a next switch or the next shifter, that is your barrel shifter. So that what happens over there, the couple of switch gets together to form a 4 groups. So all 4 transistors will be making all 4 groups. I hope you all remember that one. So right, this one. So what happens here, so another adaptation for all this arrangement is to couple the switch gates together to form a groups, and that group is of 4, and also 4 separate groups for corresponding to shift as required. So we are making these 4 groups for shifting separately and for getting the input separately. So we are making 4 groups and 4 columns where you will be getting the input data separately, and these are all interlinked. And if you want to shift from here for 1 bit, you have to shift for your input 1 or input 0. What happens here, it will be giving output at output 1, where you will be shifting for 1 bit position. Similarly, if you want, these are all interlinked. So if you are all having interlinked these switches, what happens, you will be getting proper interconnections, as well as your shifting is also very much easier. So all this resulting arrangement is known as your barrel shifter, or you can also say as 4x4 barrel shifter, because I am using 4x4, 4 rows and 4 columns, 4 inputs and 4 outputs. Right? You can also go further for the n by n columns and rows also. So this was about your barrel shifter. Now in today's class we are going to see our next topic, that is about your adders. So very firstly, by the name itself, what do you know about an adder? Adder means nothing but it has to add something, any 2 inputs or any 2 digital numbers or binary numbers, it has to add or it has to sum. So an adder in a circuit, or adder is an circuit that performs the addition of numbers or digital bits or the inputs, whatever it may be. So adder is a circuit that performs the addition of 2 numbers. So here the adders that we are going to use, obviously in ICs, it will be in the heart of an ALU. What is ALU over here? ALU is nothing but your arithmetical and logical unit, which is a 4-bit adder. We are using a 4-bit adder over here. So the adders are nothing but which are performing the operations and the main heart of your ALU. Suppose if there is no adder in your ALU, the logical unit, how you are going to perform all the operations? Even if you go for the logical operations also, you need these adders. So we say that adders are the heart of your, which will say ALU. So if we consider a 4-bit adder, so what happens? The sum of these two 4-bit numbers and all these 4-bit quantities are presented in parallel form for the ALU. So the sum is stored in the parallel at the output of the adder, from where it may be fed to the shifter back to the registers arrays. So here we have seen a small what will say block diagram, like how it will be working. The first block, if you are going to see, is your input output ports, from where you will be getting the inputs and from where you will be giving the outputs, right? Then you are having 4-bit registers, nothing but you will be storing temporary data. And ALU, all the arithmetic as well as the logical operations has to be done over here. And end round shifter, here is a shifter where you are going to shift. So what you are doing, we have to do addition, and where the addition will be going on in the ALU part. So addition is the heart of your ALU. So and this is the carry in and carry out, because we obviously need carries over here. So what happens here, if from inputs and outputs we are taking input over there, okay, then that is stored. The next one, first one is given to your ALU, and if you are having the very immediate next inputs or outputs, that can be stored in your registers, that are temporary storages. Then that is fed to the ALU, where you will be having the arithmetic and logic operations. In case if you are having extra carry, that carry is given to your carry out output, and if you are having sum, that is given to the shifter. In case the application needs or has to be done shifting, either you want to shift for 1-bit right or left position for shifting and all, that has to be fed to the shifter. So before shifters, adders should perform all the operations in your ALU. Okay, just for the brief explanation, I have given a block diagram, like how you are giving the inputs, where the data will be stored, how the operations will be done, and what is the next step that you are going to be do. Fine. So generally we will be having the adders. You might know what are the different kinds of adders, because you have seen D as well as B all over there. So you are having 2 types of adders, half adders, as well as your full adders. That are the basic adders. So how your basic adders will be working? Correct. You are having 2 inputs, A and B, 0 0. You will be having 2 input combinations, 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So whenever you are going for the addition operation, that will require an AND gate as well as an XOR gate. Correct. So for that one, if you are taking the combinations of 2 to 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1, what is the actually we are getting the outputs over here? See, 0 0 0 plus 0, carry is 0, obviously no carry, and sum is also 0. 1 plus 0, your carry is 0 and sum is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1 and carry will be 0. 0 plus 1, again your sum will be 1 and your carry will be 0. 1 plus 1 is 0. Your arithmetic, what we will say, modulo 2 addition we will be doing. So what happens, 1 plus 1 will be, sum is 0 and your carry will be 1. Okay, this is how I know everyone knows about this, but I'm just giving the brief explanation for that one, like how adders will be working. So in VLSI, what we are going to see, the 3 different kinds of adders are, one is carry skip adder, carry select adder, and Manchester chain adder. Okay, these are the 3 different kinds of adder that we are going to see. So as I have said, there are 3 adders that we are going to see in our syllabus. So before moving on to that one, I'll first want to tell a brief explanation about your carry look ahead adder, okay, as well as your ripple carry adder. So when it comes to the carry look ahead adder, it is one of the fastest adders that are used in your electronics adders. Okay, we are having different kinds of adders, I have already said, like a carry look ahead adder, or half adder, or full adder, or Manchester adder, or ripple carry adder. So if you consider all these things, if you're one of the fastest one, if you go for that one, is your carry look ahead adder, which is one of the fastest adder in a type of electronic adders which are used in digital logic. So this carry ahead or a carry look ahead adder improves speed by reducing the amount of time required to determine the carry bits. So what is the difference actually between in this one is, what ripple carry does, whenever you are doing this summing operation or addition operation, you are adding the sum bits, right? We are adding some input bits. So this ripple carry adder waits till the what will I say, carry is also added. But whereas carry look ahead adder, what it does, it continuously moving on with the sum operation. Okay, a plus b is equals to sum plus carry, both you will be having. So ripple carry, what it does, it is simpler that it will be waiting for carry is also be coming along with it. So but carry look ahead adder, what it does, it continuously moving on with the sum operation, because you have to concentrate only on the addition, only the sum product or the sum thing that has to be moved on. But in this context, what happens, the simpler or but usually very slower part is your ripple carry adder, for which the carry bit, see I have here written here, for the carry bit is calculated alongside with the sum bit, and each stage must wait until the previous carry bit has been calculated to begin the calculating its own sum bit and carry bit. So what happens, it is a slow process because it has to wait for the carry bit also, because to move on to the next one. But whereas in carry look ahead adder, it won't do that one, it will be continuously going on. So in carry look ahead adder, it calculates one or more carry bits before the sum itself, which reduces the wait time to calculate the result for the larger value of the bits. If you are having this larger value and you are using this ripple carry, then it is taking so much time for that one. So that's the reason we are moving for the carry look ahead adder. Okay. So I hope you are clear with what is carry look ahead adder. Just keep in mind that carry look ahead adder is a faster adder. When it comes to your ripple carry adder, it is a slower adder. Means it takes time to add the longer bits. Now we'll start with the next adder, that is your Manchester carry chain adder. Okay, in dynamic logic or normal also we can consider. I'll give the notes for that one also. So we are having the carry adder, Manchester carry chain adder. So what is the Manchester carry chain adder? So these kind of adder, this Manchester carry chain adder will fall in the category of your which one will say, I'll tell it as a carry ahead adder. So what is a carry ahead adder? It is a faster or slower? Obviously it is a faster adder. So this Manchester carry chain adder falls in the category of the faster adders. That is, it is a carry propagate adder in which the delay carry through the carry cells is reduced. So whatever the time which is taken by which is used for getting the carries, okay, we obviously waste time at where? In the carry itself, so the carry part, the carrying numbers. So that time is reduced. So this is called as a propagate adder in which the delay through the carry cells is getting reduced. So what is an propagate carry? Propagate carry is the carry which influences the carry of subsequent bits. Propagate carry is nothing but which will be influencing the carries of your other bits. What are the subsequent bits that are present in your block? That are the subsequent bits, and these carry will be affecting all the other carriers in your subsequent or the neighboring bits. So that particular carry is called as your propagate carry adder or the propagate adder, in which the delay which is causing by your carry cells, that can be reduced by using your Manchester carry chain adder, and this kind of adder is called as your fastest adder. So what is meant by what I will say dynamic and static is that your pass transistors that are connected in parallel is your static, and the pass transistors which are connected in series, that is called as your dynamic implementation. Fine. So we will see the Manchester carry chain block diagram, how they are connected overall over here. See, listen ma, this is the block diagram of your Manchester carry chain adder. So it will be using the cascade of pass transistors to implement the carry chain. So this is the pass transistors that are used to get your carry chain. See, C3, here you will be getting the carry chains. Fine. So what here you are having, here the VDD, and here you will be added to the ground. And here what here, these are the gate terminals, and this is your propagate adders or the propagate carries also, we can say that one. Okay, because this chain is a chain of pass transistors that are used to get your carry chains. Okay, and these are the transistors which are used to get your inputs and outputs depending upon your inputs what you are giving. correct? So these are the gates from where you will be getting the inputs and where you will be getting the outputs. Okay, now see what so what we have said, it is using the cascade of pass transistor to implement the carry chain. Now let's just tell what is a pass transistor. A transistor which is used as switches are called as your pass transistors. I hope you remember the about pass transistor, that is from the first unit. So during the pre-charge of phase 0, okay, whenever you are having pi is equals to 0, all the intermediate nodes of pass transistor carry chain are pre-charged to VDD. What we have said, ma'am, we are using these pass transistors. So pass transistors are nothing but they are switches. Okay, whenever we are giving the input is equals to 0. So what happened, all the intermediate nodes of this pass transistors, they will be acting as switches and they are directly charged through VDD. If you are connecting over here, so they will be directly charged through VDD. Now when comes to 1, so during this what happens, now these are completely charged. Okay, now your circuit is completely charged. Now during the evaluation phase, or the phi is equals to 1 over here, when you are giving phi is equals to 1, the node AK, the node which is present here as AK, that is discharged. This whole will be discharged, this complete node that will be discharged, where there is a incoming carry and the propagation signal PK is high. Incoming signal as well as your PK signal, these are the number of signals. If you count it as PK, they will be high and generate a signal for the stage which is high, and they will be generating signal at the GK and that will be high. So what happens when you are giving 0, this gate terminals or GK will be high. When phi is equals to 0, this will be 1, and if you are giving 1, you will be getting the high, what we will say, 1 here over here itself. So it actually means that whenever you are giving the charge evaluation phase of phi is equals to, for pre-charge phi is equals to 0, all the intermediate nodes of this carry chain will be pre-charged to VDD, and when it is given to 1, they will be discharging. All this will be discharging. Okay, and if you are there discharging, overall the signal that is generated will also be high. So because of this one, what happens, you will be getting the proper output of the adders. So whenever you are charging all the intermediate nodes, the carry chain is pre-charged to VDD. That means you will be having 1. And if you are having 1 also, the node which is there of your carry chain of the pass transistors, there is an incoming carry and the propagate signal is high when they generate the signal for the state is also high. So this is how your Manchester carry chain will be working. So it is one of the, what we can say, fastest carrier, because you will be having a line of pass transistors that will be acting as a switches. So there are two kinds of phases, phase 0 and phase 1. In phase 0, all the carry chain will be pre-charged and they will be given to the VDD. And if you are going for the phase 1, that will be discharged and the incoming carry and the propagate signal will be high. Means there will be carry will also be equals to 1, as well as your signal, the sum signal or the propagate signal, that is also will be PK will also be equals to 1. Now next adder is about your carry skip adder. Okay, what is meant by carry skip adder? I'll say this as carry skip adder is the ripple carry adder. Now what is meant by ripple carry adder? Obviously it will be waiting for the carries that has to be complete their part, and then they have to move for the second one. Yes or no? So we are saying that this carry skip adder is similar to that of your, what will say, ripple carry adder. So a carry skip adder is a ripple carry adder which is partitioned into several full adder blocks, and a skip circuit is attached with each block. Okay, what we are having, we will be having the number of full adders in that one, and plus we will be having one skip circuit is attached in each and every block. Okay, so you will be having over here, see the adder stage here. This adder stage is nothing but your this adder stage is a full adder stage, and for each full adder stage we will be having one skip adder, skipping circuit. So a skip circuit detects the propagation condition of the block and lets the carry from the next lower block when it is generated. Okay, For what happens here, this carry skip adder is a ripple carry adder which we have said, and they are partitioned into several full adders, and they will be having one skip circuit which is attached to each block. So a skip circuit detects the propagation of the block. Okay, propagation of the block means what it will be detecting? It will be detecting the carry whenever you are having using a full adder. Suppose I am going to have 1 plus 0 plus 1. So what is 1 plus 0? Obviously 1. Then 1 plus 1, answer is 0, and you will be having carry as 1. So that carry will be stored over here, where in the skip block. So carry circuit detects the propagation of carries, or the detection of your propagation blocks. So the carry may ripple through full adder in the block where it is generated, and carry may be rippling through the full adder, so it may be become slower. So bypass the blocks when the carry propagation condition will be holding. So what happens actually here? So first we'll start with the addition. So a skip circuit, what happens? It detects the propagation condition of the block and lets the carry from the next to lower block, and it will be taking the carry here from the next to lower block. Correct? Here from here again it will be going to skip block, and this carry out will be given over here. Correct? Again from here it is getting. So what happens? A skip circuit detects the propagation condition of the block and lets the carry from the next to lower block. The next to lower block it is getting the carry, right? And from the the propagation condition of the block and lets the carry from the next to lower block to bypass when the condition is holding. So obviously the condition will be holding, because we have to hold the circuit until this skip carry or the carry part is also has to be succeeded, because it is a kind of ripple carry adder, right or not? So a carry may ripple through the full adders in the block when it is generated. Okay, wherever it is generated, the carry may ripple. Okay, it will be going here and there, and what happens? The bypasses the block where the carry propagation condition holds, and the ripple through the full adder in the block where the carry propagation conditions does not hold. So what happens here? This full adder will be holded for some time whenever you are having this carry. When this carry is completely done, then it will not be hold the full adder circuit, means it will not hold the circuit. Whenever your carry is rippling from here and there, so your whole full adder will be hold it for some time. Whenever your carry is cleared, then what happens? It obviously the block where carrier propagation conditions, now it does not hold the circuit. So this is how your carry skip adder will be working. So it is a type of your ripple carry adder. So here there is a condition where the system hold becomes very worse, and that condition is all the blocks will be of same size. Okay, if all the blocks are of same size, then it will be a problem that if you are going for doing OR operations or we'll go for the what we'll say addition operations. What happens? All the blocks are of same size. It will become a very delay will be happening. Okay, it becomes worse delay of the carry to generate, because it takes lots of time. You are having same equal blocks, then it is a worse condition that all the blocks are of same size, and the worst condition is that the delay of that carry is generated at the least significant position, and that becomes the whole circuit to be slower. So that is the worst condition, right? So this it was about your carry skip adder. So carry skip adder is a type of your ripple carry adder, means it is I can say that it is in a slower category of slow adders, correct or not? So, and this will be having a full adder circuit plus a skipper circuit, where skip will be holding your carry circuits. But here you may expect that the condition will be worse, because if you are having the same size of blocks, then it will be a delay for a longer time, because you have to calculate the carry and you have to wait that carry to finish that whole circuit, then you have to move on for the next ones. So due to this, there may be option of getting so much delay. Fine. And the next one is your carry select adder. Now next we are going to see our last adder, that is your carry select adder. So this carry select adder is one of the another what we'll say fastest adders. We have seen the Manchester carry chain adder or Manchester adder is also fast adder, and carry select adder is also fast adder, and carry skip adder is your ripple slow adder. It is a part of your ripple carry adder, or in the category of that one. So another fastest adder architecture is, we can also say that it is a carry select adder. So in this one, what happens, traditional, it is also called as a traditional adder. So listen here very carefully, what I am saying. So in these adders, in this traditional adders like carry look ahead, it is a type of carry look ahead adder, same as your Manchester carry adder. It is also carry look ahead adder. Here in each block, okay, it will be consisting of 3 sections. Each block, it is consisting of 3 sections. The first section is your GP section, and the second is your carry circuit, and the third is your sum section. Here carry, here sum. Okay, 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Okay, this is GP section, this is your carry section, and third part is your sum section. Okay, this is having 3 sections. GP section where G and P are generated. Okay, and second carry circuit where it will be generating the carry bits, and the sum section where the output signals and the sum bits are computed. Your output signal that what had to be given, as well as with your sum bits which has to be given, that are generated over there. So the difference between this architecture or this figure and that of your other one is that 2 carry sections per block instead of 1 carry section is there. Okay, and you are also having 1 multiplexer over here. Okay, what we are doing here, in all other circuits we are having 1 carry section, okay, which will be taking a time process. In Manchester carry you are having a continuous pass transistors over there, so it has become very difficult for that one. So in this carry select adder, here we are having 3 sections. GP section for getting your inputs, okay, second you are having carry, and third is sum where you are getting the sum bits as well as your output signals. And here carry section or 2 sections. As to avoid all this delay part, we are going for the 2 sections where carry will be 2 sections, and that is given to a multiplexer. But obviously multiplexer's aim is to get the single output, and that output will be given to your summer block. Fine. So one of the carry circuits operates as if the carry in bit were 0, while the other operates when if it is having 1. So whenever you are having the 0 as the carry, obviously this will be working. Whenever you are getting the carry as 1, this will be working, and the inputs are given by your GP circuit. G and P are the inputs that are given. If I give an example of 1 and 1, G is equals to 1 and P is equals to 1. So what happens, the 1 plus 1 is equals to 0, and your carry is 1. So obviously this carry will be given to the second part of your carrier block, and the output of 0 is given to the summer block, where you will be giving the output as 0. So the computations can be performed in advance only. So this is the advantage of that one. So the actual carry bit when ready is used at the multiplexer to select the right carry vector, which is fed to the summer section or the sum section, this here, which is fed to the sum section where the output vector is finally computed. So the carry out bit is from 1 block, and it is used to operate by the multiplexer of the subsequent blocks. So here in the first block that uses the 2 carry sections is actually not needed, because your C0 block or this block or C0 carry, the global carry in bits are already available in the beginning of the computations itself. So here what is the advantage over here is that we are actually using 2 blocks here, right? So we are using 2 blocks, and it is not necessary also, because we have already got the C0 block over here. Fine. So in case if you actually it is not needed also, because you are already having a global carry in bits block here. In case if you don't want to use these 2 blocks also, it is more than enough for that. So this was about your carry select adder, okay, but there is only one drawback in this carry select architecture or carry selected adder is that it will be needing an extra hardware, because we are using 2 blocks, right? For addition we are using these 2 blocks, we need extra hardware, and thing is the power consumption will be more. Okay, these are the additional sections that are to be used, because we are using your inputs to full adders. If you are going for any higher application of adders, we are using 2 blocks over here. You will be having 2 carriers also. It is also okay, there is no issue for that one, but the only thing is we need an extra hardware, plus power consumption is more in this one. So this was about your 3 adders. One was your for Manchester carry adder, then carry skip adder, and the last one is your carry select adder. So carry skip adder is a which will be falling in the category of slower adders, means ripple carry adder. There you will be continuing having the ripples. But whereas your Manchester adder as well as your carry select adder, they both fall in the category of fastest adders. Okay, in Manchester carry chain you will be using the pass transistors. Where it comes to the carry select adder, you are using 2 blocks of all this adding and or carry blocks. But the only drawback of this one is that it will be taking a power consumption, plus you need an extra hardware. So this was about your adders. I hope you are clear with this one. Okay ma, I'll just wind up class here itself. In case of any doubts, please do let me know. Thank you.